Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome to my drive into work. I got you set up on a little GoPro dashboard cam. Forgive any poor noise and audio quality here, but we're right in the middle of hockey playoff season, and basically I just wanted to do a little touch base video because a lot of gardening YouTubers will kind of shut things down for the wintertime. I do want to still put content out there because I know that a lot of people really like watching the channel. It's not a whole lot of gardening stuff that I can do right now because if you notice in the background there, it's still the middle of winter time. So some of you guys are warming up to spring right now wherever you live, and we just got a huge blizzard snowfall. And usually we don't really, I don't really start seeds until April 1st. So April Fool's Day is kind of when I'll start my indoor seeds. And then we plant on the May 2-4 weekend. Maybe just the weekend right after that, just to be safe. That's like our planting dates. So, we're still well in the winter here. But I wanted to just talk about some of the things that's been going on the channel, some of the video ideas that I have coming up, and I don't know, things that I want to do on my land going forward for this season. So, kind of a sneak peek into what's coming on. So, over the wintertime, we've been doing this capitalism, type activism, environmental activism, renewables. We've done a nuclear video. I'd like to do more of those type of things. I do know that a lot of people find my YouTube channel because they're searching for gardening, and if I make 90 videos in a year, I'll make 80 of them on gardening. So I do understand that a lot of people have found my channel through gardening, but just understand that if these type of videos aren't really your cup of tea, that's totally fine. I just can't really do gardening videos now, but I do have a gardening video that I'm going to be doing probably in the next, couple weeks or so, and that's on calcium, using calcium in your food forest, what to do with eggshells, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, obviously, before we do it, but it's going to be very science-based, and it's going to be both things you can do if you have livestock and things that you can do if you don't have livestock, and then the reasons for both of them, why they're good, and different things to kind of take it to the next level. So we'll be doing things like chemistry and using acids to help break down some of the calcium carbonate, and we'll do things like natural practices, carbon sequestration, permaculture, things like biochar, how to integrate that stuff into livestock. So that'll be, I think, a really interesting video that's coming up. I'll probably also do like a seed starting video, things that I'm growing this year. I think that's always fun to do, including varieties that I'm grabbing. Probably do some kind of plan on how I want to expand the food forest, because even though I've planted like 1,000 trees on about 2 acres or so, I'm always thinking of ways that I can flesh out different areas of my food forest. And I don't know about anyone else who's watching this who has their own food forest. You probably go through the same thing. You'll design something, you'll live with it for a while, you'll tend to it, but your brain is always thinking of, how can I make this better? How can I expand my herbaceous layer? Or where can I add wildflowers to bring in pollinators and deal with pests more naturally, that kind of thing. I do want to do a couple series of videos this summer, really catered towards the non-permaculture gardening kind of group out there. It's probably the biggest demographic. So in terms of intelligently creating videos that appeal to a wide audience, I want to do things like that, like how to deal with powdery mildew, how to do with vine borers in squash plants, how to grow tomatoes, how to prune peppers, all those kind of core gardening concepts. Maybe I'll do another touch base on how to compost properly, that kind of thing. And my goal with all of those will be kind of to try to attract the average everyday gardener and maybe expose them to some of the permaculture practices that we do. Maybe we can get the average gardener making a batch of biochar, and maybe get the average gardener to think a little bit more about their soil health, think less about fertilization, think more about maybe even Korean natural farming techniques like making liquid fertilizers, and just focusing more on soil health and mulching and ecosystem development instead of, you know, just growing a tomato plant. So hopefully we can kind of expose more people to that kind of thing. One last thing that I did a post today in the community section of my YouTube, and this is on the last final video that we've got coming out on the whole Activision Winter series. And what I wanted to do is really provide a benefit to the members that support the channel, both on Patreon and YouTube membership program, to get an early access to my ideas and thoughts on that video. And I have like substantial brainstorming notes. It almost reads like a small book. And if the first book that I write will probably be on this topic. So you're probably actually also getting a glimpse into the first Canadian permaculture legacy, you know, physical book. I don't know when that's going to happen, so don't hold me to that. But I'm hoping sometime in the next couple years I can get some time to really sit down and actually, you know, flesh out and write a proper book that then, you know, can be disseminated. People give it as gifts to their friends, and, you know, that kind of thing, to help bring awareness to different, you know, climate challenges that we have, and how gardening and sustainability kind of works its way into all of that. So, and then the next book will probably be more on, you know, actual permaculture and sustainability, regenerative farming practices, that kind of thing. So those are like two books that I have really planned for the next 10 years of my life. I'm hoping that I can get that stuff done. I actually have close to maybe 200 pages of rough notes from different posts and comment replies that I've made, where I'll cut and copy and post all that down, because it's good information. It might be a good little chapter, and then I'll, you know, the challenge will be weaving that all together into a coherent book. So that's kind of what I have going forward in my plans for my future life. I'd love to, you know, get a nice early retirement where I can focus on this kind of thing, and develop a big enough income that I can support the family, and, you know, align my labor value that I give out to the world with my ethics and things that I really want to change in the world. I'm kind of fairly aligned there right now, working in the energy sector on clean power. So I do feel a lot of fulfillment in that way. But I would like to be able to dedicate my my weekly hours more towards the permaculture style, you know, the really like changing society type of thing. And that's what this final video will be. I'm hoping it's going to be really, really well done. It's going to be a video that I take a lot of time to actually flesh out and do properly. Lots of B-roll footage, lots of not just me talking. I really want to get clips of experts in there. I want to get, you know, TED Talks. I want to get presentations done in, you know, the research area and, you know, group. I want to get political discourse. I want to get activism stuff in there. You know, I kind of want to take the whole Greta Thunberg style, where, you know, her whole message is, don't listen to me, listen to the experts, you know, and whatever you think about Greta. I think it's really important that we get that message out, specifically from me, because I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm not an expert in any of these things. I just love this stuff so much that I've probably done more reading on this topic actually in the last 10 years than engineering in my whole entire life. So I do feel like I'm fairly well versed in all of these things, but I do also recognize that, you know, there are actual true experts like Dr. Robert Mann out there, or Michael Mann out there, you know, who have spent their entire career, you know, and, you know, he's like the Dr. Elaine Ingham of soil science for climate science. So I want to get people like that referenced more, and, you know, in some of these other videos, and kind of let them do the speaking for me. So just a lot of work to get that done and actually like build those videos. And to be quite frank, you know, I'm not really great at that. I'm getting better at it, but you know, I'm just a guy like you guys. I was just living my own life and then decided to pick up my camera and start a YouTube channel. You know, I'm not a professional cinematographer or anything. I'm just a guy with a camera and editing software that's fumbling around and learning as I go. So anyways, I hope you enjoy these videos. I'm trying to put content out there so you guys have stuff to digest. I know a lot of people are kind of working their way through the winter woes and are really excited for gardening season like I am. I think the most excited thing, you know, the thing that I'm most excited for is every year that goes by, all the trees get bigger. I was actually outside with the dogs yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago, taking the compost out to my compost bin. And I just stopped and looked around at how much I've accomplished on my land. And it always feels like I'm being pulled in all these different directions, you know, being a husband to a wife, you know, we're really into pickleball right now. So we're playing a lot of pickleball, and we've always gone on bike rides and, you know, been really fit and active. So we're trying to balance time commitments towards that, to, you know, my actual family, time commitments to my kids and my work, and then trying to do gardening on the side and do a YouTube channel to help inspire other people. So it's, you know, feel like you're getting pulled in 1,000 directions. I'm sure if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I'd probably accomplish more on my land, because I'd have all this extra time, you know, to plant more. Probably do a lot more guerrilla planting as well. And actually, that's another video I want to do more of in the spring, is kind of more videos on guerrilla planting and planting out in the wild. Just have to be a little careful about that kind of stuff, because it is a really dangerous thing to inspire people to do if, you know, they're coming at this fairly new and they don't really understand a whole lot about plants, and then they just get out there and start planting things that maybe they shouldn't. So that's the reason why I don't have a lot of guerrilla planting out there. But Crime Pays But Botany Doesn't is a great YouTube channel, by the way, if anyone loves that guerrilla planting stuff. That guy is amazing, and yeah, check out his things. But yeah, I might do a little more of that kind of thing as well. So let me know what kind of videos you like that I produce, what kind of content you like to see. I know a lot of people will say gardening stuff. I know a lot of people are here for the gardening. But just understand that, you know, permaculture is about way more than gardening. Permaculture is about how humanity survives. You know, that's literally what it's about. It's about how on earth do we establish permanent human culture on the earth. And that's about more than just herb spirals and mulching with straw. So these are really important things for how to create sustainability in your life, how to decentralize the food chain. I think these are some of the most important things humanity has to tackle in order to find a way to live sustainably on the planet, but it's far more reaching than that. You know, and my YouTube channel is Canadian Permaculture Legacy. So, you know, I think that I really want to focus this channel on using gardening as a way to bring in people and then plant a seed in their mind that they should focus on having a sustainable life, focusing on regenerative practices and how these things can actually enrich your life, but more importantly, how they also then feed into the bigger picture of how these things fundamentally transform and change society. And it does it not only by you yourself becoming more self-sufficient and more independent and financially wealthy, you know, building actual real wealth. This is something I'm going to talk about in that final video. What's the difference between real wealth and, you know, today's definition of wealth? These are really important things. So I think it'll be an interesting topic. I think, you know, the future of this channel is going to be always aligned to where I want to take it, which is really fundamentally transforming society. So I hope you guys understand all that, and I think maybe, you know, understanding what that's kind of the goal of this channel, and that's what the recent winter series of videos has really been focused around, largely, is creating videos that will help infect change in people's mind. You know, lay that seedling of, I want to actually not just change my life, but I want to fundamentally change society as well. And then, you know, I don't know, hopefully we can survive this. Hopefully we can survive the next 2 decades. I really do think that the 2020s, 2030s, and 2040s will fundamentally determine what humanity looks like in the future. It will determine the course of humanity for the rest of human civilization. And I think that we're probably the most important generations that have ever existed in terms of humanity. And we'll talk about that on the next video as well. So thanks for watching. I'll stop rambling. I gotta get into work in about 5 minutes here, so I'll leave it here, and I will see you guys on the next video. Happy gardening, happy growing, everybody.